everybody, we are back on the road, back on the air once again. It is time for another video edition of the Drive Home Show. It is hot, folks. 2 weeks ago we had a blizzard, 18 inches of snow, we did, and now it is 80 degrees, we got, 81. We got tunes from the 80s and 70s. Anyway, let's try to open our show with a song. That was Paradise by the Dashboard Light by Meatloaf, the only artist named after a food. Anyway, it is 410. We do not have a snowbank of death anymore, but we do have cars coming. That looks like the police. We do have to wait now. Usually when we have the snowbank of death, there's no waiting. But yes, it is 80 degrees and 81 actually, and that means get out our baseball caps. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing the show on a baseball cap. I got this, wow, I don't like the angle of the camera, but got this baseball cap last year on Cap Day at the Minnesota Twins Target Field. They actually just had Cap Day this Saturday. So in honor of Cap Day, we're going to do the show in our baseball caps. It is a hot one out there, folks. It is warm. I might have to turn the AC on. Let's turn the AC on, because we can't have the windows open. It'll be just blowing stuff and making all kinds of noises and stuff. So how are you guys doing? How was your weekend? It's a Monday. Woo-hoo! And now we've got to wait for all these cars to go. So we're going to be waiting here. I got to get my trusty handy dandy water out. And it's probably hot. Actually, it's not bad. Tastes pretty good. Pretty cold. I don't even have one of those thermos cups that keep your water cold and your cold things cold and your hot things hot. Don't even have one of those, and my water is nice and cold. Cool. Nice cold. That's some high quality H2O. Anyway, we are getting ready to get on the freeway. It's 412. 81 degrees. Our gasometer is sitting at 355.2 now. In the winter time, that would never stand. We wouldn't be able to stand for that. We'd have to be getting gas because we'd be on E. But now I've still got like a fourth of a tank. So we do get better gas mileage in the summer than the winter. And I sound like Kermit the Frog. Anyway, we are merging. We do not have sound effects. Anymore. Disconnected the sound effects machine just because I was playing the same old ones over and over again just to keep this screensaver from coming on. Once the screensaver comes on, I gotta merge really. This is a tricky merge on the 494. Which shall soon turn into 694 as soon as we cross over 94. That is a lot of 9s and 4s. Ba-dum-bum ching. I don't have my sound effects. But pretty easy merge today. Sometimes that's pretty tricky because you got a lot of them cars. They want to go eastwardly into Wisconsin. And, they could cause a big lineup, but we do have some brake light alerts coming up here. I do the traffic as I drive home on the Drive Home Show as a public service to you listeners. It is absolutely free. It is no charge. And I'm wondering, should I close the sunroof? The make it darker. Let's just check it out, see what it looks like. Is that better or worse or neither? Let's try it back open. I'm gonna look at the nice sunny sky. It's kind of cloudy. It's kind of sunny, cloudy. It's partly sunny, partly cloudy. There's a somewhere between a 0 and 100% chance of precipitation. So anyway, I've got this baseball cap from Cap Day, and you can see if I tilt my head down like that, thuswardly, I got a TC on the hat. Now, some of you probably know that's the Minnesota Twins hat. If you're from this area, obviously you would know that. But you know, my viewers stretch across the entire globe, and they cover an enormous plethora of genres. So some people don't even watch baseball that are viewers of this drive home show. So I thought we would talk about what this TC means on the hat. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you, but first, I want to talk about some of the other teams and their hats and what their letters are and junk like that. Oh, hang on, let me get my drink of water.
And that's what I call high quality H2O.
Oh! There. Anyway, so we're going to talk about baseball hats and their logos and stuff like that. All kind of neat stuff. Right now we're moving along at a pace of 60 miles an hour. It's not our usual pace. It's a really windy day today, too. Very windy. When I was walking out to my car, the wind almost blew me over. Oh, and when I was taking a walk on the walking path at work, if you walk the complete path and circle it, it's a 1 mile walk. But I just took the halfway version. I guess that would be the half-mile walk. But I was walking, I hear some rustling in the grass, and I look down and there's a snake. I've never seen a live snake out in the wild before. I've seen them at the zoo, but I've never seen it. It wasn't a big snake, but I was like, that was kind of shocking for me. What, a snake? We don't have snakes in Minnesota. Anyway, so okay, back to the baseball caps now. You seen caps? You've seen teams with baseball caps and stuff, and like for example, let's start out with the Boston Red Sox. We've got a brake light alert. We're slowing down here. Lots of debris on the road. Maybe somebody blew a tire. I see like lots of tire debris and people slowing down to swerve and avoid it. So I'll let you know if a tire blew and if there's a accident or anything on the freeway. I'll do that for you. Anyway, so you might see the Boston Red Sox team and they got a B on their hat, and you think, oh, the letter on the hat, there's a truck pulled over. That must be where the tire exploded. Let me slow down and take a gander as a gawker. Slow down. Well, I don't see a tire, but I see a truck. Those trucks have like 18 wheels, so if one tire blows, they just keep on rolling. So you might see the Boston Red Sox, and they have the B on their hat, and you think, oh, the letter on the cap must represent the city in which the team plays. Like the B for Boston Red Sox, or the Detroit Tigers. They got a fancy ye old English D on their hat. It's all fancy schmancy, and that stands for Detroit of the Detroit Tigers. Well, yeah, okay. that's a good theory. That's a good theory. We'll go with that. Then sometimes there's cities would have like more than one word in their name of their city. Like here, we're entering Pine Springs, population 408. Let's wave to the Pine Springerians, because we'll be out of their city in like 25 seconds. I'm on what I call the Pine Springs Matamidi curve. That's where we go. We change from going northwardly, Scotty Mr. Northward Head, and then we end up going westwardly when we hit Matamidi. And so now we're hitting Matamidi right now. Now we're going west, and it's 4:19, 80 degrees. We're a little bit behind schedule. Let's see if we can catch up a bit, shall we? It's been that Gawker slowdown that we had. Anyway, so sometimes there's cities that have like two words in their city, you know, like San Diego or San Francisco. That's fun to say. Well, some of those hats, they have like the intertwined, like this is like a T and a C crossed intertwined. So they would have like an S and a D for San Diego Padres, or an S hooking around the F for San Francisco. That's fun to say. Kansas City, the C comes off the K there for Kansas City. Then we got like your Los Angeles Dodgers. They have an L and an A crossing, and actually the L kind of is the crossbar for the A, so that kind of serves as a dual purpose letter. Then Tampa Bay, you know what? Tampa Bay has a T and a B on their hats, but if you look on a map, is this city called Tampa Bay? Because as far as I knew, it was just called Tampa, not Tampa Bay. So I don't understand that, but Tampa Bay has a T and a B on their hats for Tampa Bay. And then you got New York. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today, and if I can make it there. Anyway, New York Yankees. They have the New York Yankees and the New York Mets. They're both teams from New York, and they have like this hybrid letter thing that's like an N with a Y over it, and it kind of like it's like forming this new hybrid type letter NY. It's a well-known logo. Obviously that's for New York. Excuse me, I'm coughing. Then there's St. Louis. They have like an S and an L, but then they have like a little bitty T in there for like a St. Louis. And so that's kind of a nice one. That's actually a little side story, a little side note on there, as we got some big slowdowns going the other direction. That would be going east on 694. There's a huge slowdown. It's huge. I would not go that way if I were you. I would avoid that at all costs, because you're going to be sitting in traffic. I'm just telling you, just warning you. St. Louis, the St. Louis Cardinals, I got one of those souvenir batting helmets, you know, that the kids get from the baseball games and junk. It's got that cute little headband, adjustable headband thing inside, and it's plastic, and by no means is it sanctioned by MLB for protective use. I mean, it would not protect you from a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. I'm just saying that right now. So don't wear that thinking my head is protected. But anyway, I got one of those for St. Louis Cardinals when I was a kid. I don't know why it was St. Louis Cardinals. I can't remember how I got it. But I remember like just staring at it all the time, like, I like this helmet, and like looking at that logo. So even today, when I see that St. Louis STL. It's like, it brings me back to my childhood memories, and I still think that's a cool logo. But my favorite team back then was the Cincinnati Reds and the Minnesota Twins, so I don't know why I didn't get one of those helmets. But anyway, we were talking about the letters standing for the city, like the A. There's A for Atlanta Braves. There's a C for the Cincinnati Reds, which was my favorite team back then. And H with a star in it for the Houston Astros. And I'm putting these logos up on the screen for you there so you can see, in case you're not familiar with them. The H for Houston Astros, it has a star around it. It's like an H star. Now, there are some teams that the city letter is the same letter as their team nickname. The biggest example, most common or most recognizable perhaps, would be Chicago Cubs. The C is for Chicago, and C is for Cubs, or C is for cookie. C is for cookie, it's good enough for me. Anyway, is that C for the Chicago, or is it for Cubs? Which one is it? What about the P? I was gonna say fee. The P for Philadelphia, or the P for Phillies? Which one does it stand for? Or P for Pittsburgh, or P for Pirates? Pittsburgh Pirates? What team do the Pittsburgh Pirates play for, Groucho? The Pittsburgh Pirates, Groucho. That is correct. Dun, dun, dun. You won $169.37. Well, set a secret wide and divide $100. Anyway, or the Miami Marlins. Is that M on their hat? Is that for Miami, or is it for Marlins? Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it's the city, because that's the standard rule by which teams go by, with which they go. And you've fallen for my trap, because that's the way I wanted you to think. Because not all the teams in Major League Baseball have the city representing the letter. This letter representing the city. For example, there is the Oakland A's, this nice little logo right here. The Oakland A's have an A on their hat, and last time I heard, they don't play for Ackland. There's not an O on their hat, there's an A for A's. Or what about the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim? They've got this A with the halo on it. It's not for Anaheim, because they used to be California Angels, and they still had an A when they were the California Angels. So that is for Angels. Okay, we're up to our sign which says how the freeway time to 35W right now. That's a favorite part of our show, guys. Right now we're looking at 4:27 and 4 minutes on the clock, 4 minutes on the board. So we should be hitting 35W at 4:31. And we're making up for lost time here. 4 minutes is not good. We want to see 3, but 4 minutes is okay, because we're gonna have a little bit of a slowdown, but it's not gonna be a major slowdown. Where did we leave off? The Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles. Yeah, and then let's look at the Seattle Mariners. When they first entered into the league, they were in the 1970s. They were an expansion team with the Toronto Blue Jays. They had an M on their hats, and it was like a little pitchfork M for Mariners. That's not the city. Although they did change it to an S later for Seattle, but that doesn't mean that all teams follow that rule. I'm just saying. I'm slowing down here. We're gonna up to a big slowdown. I'm making sure the car behind me does not smack into me, because they're driving way too close. Way too close. All right. Okay. So now, not all the teams have a letter for the city, because some teams are not from a city; they're from a state. I'm just gonna ignore that car that just drove like an idiot. I don't have my sound effects about you are an idiot. But no, some teams are state teams, not city teams, like the Texas Rangers. Texas is not a city, it's a state. It's the biggest state in the world. No, actually, Alaska is bigger, but Texas, the Rangers do have a T on their hats for Texas. Arizona Diamondbacks have an A on their hat for Arizona. They actually have an alternate hat which has a D on their hat for Diamondbacks, and it's actually a snake curled up into the shape of a D, but their main hat is A for Arizona. Colorado Rockies. Colorado, they kind of do dual purpose. They have a CR on their hats for Colorado and for Rockies, so they got both. They got the state and the team nickname right on their hat. They're CR, the only team that does that. And the Washington Nationals, well, Washington is a state, yes, it is, but they don't play in Washington State. They play in Washington, D.C., so they do have a W on their hats. Actually, it kind of looks like the Walgreens W, doesn't it? Walgreens. Ladies and gentlemen, the Walgreens Nationals. Play ball. Yeah. Anyway. But no, not all the teams even have letters. That's the tricky part. Some teams have pictures. The Baltimore Orioles, they don't have a letter. They don't have a B. They don't have an O. We're slowing down, by the way. We're like way slow here. Going through this, I call this the Snelling to 35W corridor, where we only got 2 lanes of traffic, only 2 lanes open. We go from 3 lanes back there to only 2 lanes here, and that's why it kind of slows down a little bit. Well, we're moving along. The Baltimore Orioles have a cartoon bird for their logo. I don't know why it's a cartoon bird, but that's what they've had. They tried to go to a more realistic looking bird, and I'm popping it up there. They did that for a while, but I think everyone liked the cartoon bird better, so they went back to the cartoon bird. Excuse me. Toronto Blue Jays also have a bird. It's not a cartoon bird, but it's kind of like an emblem bird. It's like a drawing of a bird with then they got like a little maple leaf in there to represent Canada. And although they do have an alternate road hat, sometimes they wear it as a T for Toronto. Then there's also the Cleveland Indians. They used to have like a caricature of a Native American, which is highly offensive. They even named him. They named him Chief Nakahoma. And a lot of people were offended with that, so they switched to like a block letter C, and that's for Cleveland. And they have announced that they will no longer be using that offensive caricature after this season. They still have it like on their sleeve and stuff sometimes, but they will remove it completely after this season. Who else do we've got? Oh, the Milwaukee Brewers. They have a glove. They just have a baseball glove on their hat. But it's kind of clever because if you look at the 3 fingers on the baseball glove, it makes an M, and the thumb of the glove plus the pocket of the glove with the ball in it, that makes a B. So it actually stands for Milwaukee Brewers, but they don't use that one anymore. They just switched to this fancy schmancy M now for Milwaukee. So, and last but not least, well, yeah, last and least, kind of, sort of. The White Sox. They broke all the rules. They broke every rule in baseball when it comes to their hats. They don't have the C for Chicago. C is for cookie. They don't have a C for Chicago. They don't have a W for White Sox. They have the word Sox. The word. They have a whole word, Sox. But they don't even spell it right. They just spell it S-O-X. And like Sox would be S-O-C-K-S. So they're like misspelled. They don't have the right letter for city. They don't have the right letter for team nickname. They just got Sox. Anyway, that covers all the teams in the Major League Baseball. Now, the Twins don't really follow the rules either because they don't have an M for Minnesota. You could say, oh, this T is for Twins, but what's the C for? Well, I'm going to tell you. Actually, the TC stands for Twins Cap. It's a no-brainer. Come on. Twins Cap. No-brainer. I'll get some water after that. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot to tell you when we crossed over 35W. It was back there. I don't know what the time it was. Now it's 4:35. We're past it already, but we're slowing down. Our thermometer now reads 84 degrees. Can you believe it? 2 weeks ago, we were in the midst of a blizzard. 18 inches of snow 2 weeks ago, and now it's 84. That's incredible. Okay, so just got a few minutes left before we're exiting our freeway. We're gonna talk about running. Oh, I'm gonna put in a plug here for this year's 2018 Twin Cities marathon. It's not the marathon, it's a 10K, but it's around that same weekend with the Medtronic Twin Cities something or other. It's in October. We're running the 10K and we're looking for people to join us. We have 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 people on our team running, at the 10K. It's October. Wow, I'm getting really hot all of a sudden. Let me turn my thermometer down. Right now, right where I'm at right now, I can run a 5K in about 26 minutes. Saturday I ran it 26 minutes and 8 seconds. And I'm going for, that's about a 6.9 miles an hour, thereabouts. I'm trying to improve my speed to like 8 miles per hour. But right now my immediate goal is to get faster than 7 miles per hour. I'm gonna run today, but I was thinking I could beat the 7 miles an hour pace today, but because it's 84 degrees, I think it might be a little too hot. We'll see. We'll see what we do. Actually, I'm gonna be editing it. I'll be editing this after I run. So this is the speed I ran today, right there. That's what speed I ran today for 3 miles. Now the 10K is actually 6.2 miles, so that'd be like double that. Cut it in half and double it. So, if you guys are interested, viewers, interested in running the 10K, we need more people. What is this truck doing? So I just want to, as we're getting ready to get off the freeway here, I want to thank you for watching the Drive Home show. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Keep your feet in the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. Don't forget to drive home safe. Thanks for watching.